Right now, state lawmakers are on a major deadline. They have until the end of this week to pass new laws for the year. One major proposal they're considering is whether to regulate artificial intelligence. KCRA 3 Capitol correspondent Ashley Zavala shows us what's becoming one big debate heading into the week.
Here at the state capitol, lawmakers in the state assembly are expected to vote on that bill, SB 1047, at some point later this week. This bill has captured the nation's attention as several Democratic members of Congress are now trying to intervene.
We stand at a pivotal moment in technological history.
Supporters of SB 1047 virtually rallying for the proposal they say is needed for the future of artificial intelligence.
We can promote strong AI innovation responsibly by taking sensible steps.
State Senator Scott Wiener wrote the bill that would require California companies spending at least $100 million developing AI models to do safety testing to prevent major risks or harms. In response, companies like OpenAI have slammed the measure, threatening to take their operations out of California if the bill passes. But some experts warned without guardrails, the models could eventually allow bad actors to create the next biological weapon, have the ability to shut down the electric grid, or melt down the banking system.
While exact timing is uncertain, some of these threats could materialize in as little as a year.
Democrats are divided. A group of California U.S. House reps, including former Speaker Nancy Pelosi, sent Governor Newsom this letter urging him to veto it if it lands on his desk, writing in part, "In short, we are very concerned about the effect this legislation could have on the innovation economy of California without any clear benefit for the public. High-tech innovation is the economic engine that drives California's prosperity."
Changing in federal regulations.
Republicans in the assembly also divided, with Assemblyman Devin Mathis telling us he's planning on voting yes, while Assemblyman Josh Hoover tells us he has concerns.
There are some things that government probably has a role to play in regulating and managing. My concerns with this piece of legislation is that it just goes too far in that direction before we really know what we're dealing with.
Meanwhile, Governor Newsom has not taken a position on the bill. Here's what he said about it at the state's AI summit a couple of months ago.
I'm intimately aware of one particular piece of legislation you're referring to and will not, by any stretch of the imagination, indulge further in that, since it's a work in progress, and I'm not going to make that mistake. So if we overregulate, if we overindulge, if we chase a shiny object, we could put ourselves in a perilous position. At the same time, we have an obligation to lead, because the world, again, we invented.
Several state lawmakers I spoke with today said this really should be the responsibility of the federal government. But State Senator Wiener noted, aside from the possible TikTok ban, Congress has not passed major tech policy since the 1990s. This week, it'll be up to California lawmakers to decide if they take the lead. Reporting at the state capitol, Ashley Zavala, KCRA 3 News.
And the tech community is also divided. Elon Musk tweeted this afternoon that he supports the proposal. Meanwhile, Meta, the owner of Facebook and Meta and Instagram, warned it would hurt research for them.